Hi all, today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different. We talked a little bit about credit cards, I'm sure, in the past, but today we are going to be talking about what credit card you actually want to go and use, how to go about selecting a credit card, and how to basically use your spend to optimize what credit card you actually want. My name is Nathan Mohan. I used to be a financial consultant, which actually means I used a bunch of different credit cards and try to optimize points. Based on my 7 years of experience working in the consulting space, I have some insights hopefully I can share with you. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first piece to know about credit cards is the credit card you can actually get is pretty contingent on how much credit history you have or what job you're getting into. And so if you're a student or you are new to the world of credit or your income is not as high, the best place to start is to get a starter card. Now, the couple of caveats that you have with credit cards in this space is, number one, there is a chance that you will have to pay some upfront insurance costs to make sure that you can actually use the card. The reason why the card provider is doing this is because of the limited credit history. They want to make sure that they can trust you. If you are paying your card on time, usually that insurance can come off in no time and you're back to just going back and using the card normally. Now, if you are in a space where you've started to build credit or you actually have a decent amount of credit in terms of your credit history and your credit score being pretty okay, in that case, you can start going to apply for different cards. And so the first thing that you're going to have to keep in mind when you apply for a card is, do you want a card with an annual fee, or do you want a card that you don't actually have to think about any sort of fee at all? And basically, whenever you swipe, you're just getting rewards off of that. The equation to see if putting down an annual fee is actually valuable is pretty easy, which is basically, what is the return that you get off of spending on the card, number one, and number two, often the cards with the annual fees come with sign-in bonuses. So if you get the sign-in or sign-up bonus, does the sum of that equal or go beyond what the annual fee is? If the answer is yes, you're in a winning ball game. You're in a winning proposition here. If the answer is no, then you're better off looking at free cards. Now, we've talked about this before, but the two biggest modes of credit card rewards are either points or cashback. Cashback is basically a flat rebate on all your purchases. So if I buy a $100 purchase and I have 2% cash back, that means every time I spend $100 or any amount of money, I'll get 2% back on it. So spend $5, I will go out and I will get 10 cents as my cash back on that purchase. Points are a little bit different. Points are the credit card company's way of basically giving you an opportunity to use these points to purchase different benefits and perks. Usually those end up being travel benefits or perks. For me, for example, I have a travel credit card, and that credit card has let me, for example, stay in Mexico City basically completely for free. I got everything except for my flight was comped for by those points. And so they ended up being really, really valuable and really, really beneficial. Balance out whether you want the annual fee or not, see whether you want just cash back or points, if you want to travel or not, and then you can basically just go from there. The nice thing about credit card optimizations is the fact that there's actually a ton of resources out there to go and see what card you actually want and what card you actually want to use. And so let me hop into my favorite resource for learning more about credit cards, which is actually the Credit Card Reddit. So I would say this is the go-to resource for me for credit cards, which is the Reddit page r/credit cards. When you go down and start looking at the page, you can start scrolling the right-hand sidebar and you'll see a lot of different resources out there for you. So you will see links for some credit card basics, fraud, and my actually most useful links, I would say, are some of these 2% cashback cards, best cashback cards, the points per card transfer partners, your credit reports. All of these are very, very useful. I would say the most useful link on this page is Credit Card Tune-Up. And so I'm gonna hit the button right here and we'll head to Credit Card Tune-Up. Credit Card Tune-Up, and the reason why it's so useful is you can basically just put in your spending and it will come up with a credit card / list of credit cards that have the highest value for you, which includes and balances out things like annual fees, bonuses for when you open a card and you hit the spend maximum, all of those things. If I go ahead and I start looking to go and get a credit card, this is actually one of the first places that I'll come to. And so for me, I'll start filling this out as if I'm myself. So for me, gas stations, I probably spend around, I want to say $100 on gas a month. I'm in Texas, gas is a little bit cheaper for me. Restaurants is probably one of my higher areas to spend at $400 a month. Supermarkets, this is probably going to be around $200 a month for me, maybe $250, something like that. Amazon.com, I don't really spend much on it at all, so probably $25 Drugstores, very little. Wholesale clubs like Costco, probably around 100. Department stores, not really a ton, maybe again 25. Utilities, probably around 100 a month. Reminds me, I actually need to pay off my utility bill. Cable, internet, landline, probably around $90 a month. Wireless phone, probably around $90 a month. Airfare, call it probably $100 a month. Hotels, I don't really get hotels anymore, but $100 a month. And then I really don't get any of the rest of these that frequently. And so now let me calculate the sum of what I spend every month, because I think this about covers it. But let's see here. 100, 300, 700, 800, 900. All right, let me quickly calculate the total here. I'm probably just gonna do this off screen so that it doesn't distract, because I actually didn't do the math ahead of time, and I know this is different from my original budget video, which you can see is the second video on my channel, if you sort by upload date. And so let me go ahead and do this off screen real quick. So I put everything into my handy dandy calculator, thanks for hanging with me, and now we're at 1,330 of spend. And I'll hit press to recalculate here, and you'll see it'll take a second to calculate, but it'll give me the best possible credit cards for the spend that I've listed above. And it also gives me, if I want to get more than one credit card, what are the best combination of cards, assuming that I spend optimally. And so what you'll see here is every single one of these cards will be sorted by which card is the best reward value if I only get that card. But for the 2 and 3 card combos, those you'll see are highlighted here in green. And so I can pretty easily pick out what are the combos that make sense for me. And so probably the best and most useful part about this tool is if I scroll over any of these values, it will tell me what exactly the spend amount is such that I can hit this target. And so you can see here for basically my current spending, if I take into account the annual, or you could say one-time opening card bonus that is given to me by the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and I spend in the allocation that I described above, I will probably net out $1,000. Again, for my 2-card combo, it's Chase Sapphire Preferred plus Chase Freedom Flex. However, if I compare only getting the Sapphire Preferred versus the 2-card combo, you'll see a difference in spending. And so on the left-hand side, you can see basically every single category that I've allocated is listed on the Chase Sapphire Preferred. However, if I go and look at my 2-card combo and I go to the Chase Freedom Flex, you'll see gas stations and supermarkets and Amazon.com are separated out. And you'll see here, if I scroll over, there is a little bit of overlap with the Freedom Flex below. However, it is not the same amount. The main reason, again, being the fact that this is just optimizing my spend, but highly recommend using credit card tune-up to get to exactly the right credit card that you are trying to look at and get to. Now, with credit cards in general, there's always new ones coming out, and some of the other ones that I would recommend that likely wouldn't show up on credit card tune-up would be the Bilt card.
Hey, this is Nathan in post-production. I mentioned that credit cards change fast, and yeah, this card has gotten significantly worse post its new release, Bilt 2.0. So completely ignore my advice here. After they changed their sponsor from Wells Fargo, I don't think they were able to offer the same benefits. With that being said, let's just close out this video.
Thank you guys for clicking on the video. We'll come back with something, I'm sure, next week, but thanks again. Talk to you later.